right, Jeff Goodman, Bob Ryan here for CLNS Media and the Garden Report, and we are here to talk Boston Celtics coaching candidates. It's been kind of quiet, Bob. Brad Stevens, it's been about a week or so since Brad Stevens inherited moved over, I guess is the best way to put it, from the coaching seat to the GM seat. And Danny Ainge is probably golfing somewhere right now, enjoying himself, not having to worry about who the next coach is of the Boston Celtics. But, Adrian Wojnarowski put out a list of some candidates that Brad Stevens is already going to talk to. Among them, no surprise, Chauncey Billups, but some other guys, Milwaukee assistants, Darvin Ham. You know Darvin Ham. You're a big Darvin Ham fan in the NBA.
That's old. Was it Tech or A&M? One of those. Where you go? Anyway.
I think you went Texas Tech. I think it was Texas Tech. Charles Lee, also on that list, Milwaukee assistant. Jamahl Mosley from Dallas and Ime Udoka from Brooklyn. So those are 5 names right now. I'm sure there's more, knowing Brad Stevens. I'm sure he's going to do a fairly exhaustive search. The question I have is, how many of these guys does Brad Stevens know well? Or is he going to rely on somebody, whether it's Danny Ainge or some other people? He's been in the league for a while now. So he's obviously met some people along the way, but how well is he immersed? He didn't grow up in this NBA culture at all.
No, and that's a great question. And we don't, the point is, it's all speculation with what he's thinking. We absolutely do not know. People wanted to start off with the premise, some did, that Kara Lawson, for example, is a real viable candidate. We don't know that to be sure. We discussed that last week, that the possibility of whether that this group could be receptive to her or not, or any female. Now, I don't know what he's thinking. And then this is it. Remember, he entered our midst out of nowhere. No one saw it coming. No one, when he was announced as the coach, it was as if he had dropped in from Mars. No one knew that he was thinking about leaving Butler, had any indication that he would ever want to be in the NBA. Danny knew that about it, but we didn't know. I don't know. My only thing, I'll reiterate what I said. I just think it would be, and no offense to any of the, to the Jay Larrañagas or anybody else, but please don't hire from within.
No. Be done. No Jerome Allen. No Jay Larrañaga.
Don't hire from within. Right. Hire from without. A different voice, a different perspective. Somebody coming in as you yourself were in that regard. And I don't want, and maybe that's counterproductive. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jay Larrañaga would be terrific. I don't know. But I'd be uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. Darvin Ham, just so you know, 47 years old. He was a big bruising forward. Yeah, if you remember, kind of a journeyman over the course of his NBA career. To me, as I've said, I would go Chauncey Billups on that group. I know he's only been in it for a year or so as an NBA assistant, but Chauncey Billups to me would all these players, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, I think there'd be an immediate respect level for Chauncey Billups. He's been on TV. They've watched him, whether it's play when they were younger, been on TV as an analyst. Again, he's won championship. It's a different level than Darvin Ham. Charles Lee, I love Charles Lee. I love him. But I just don't know if that works. Now, having said that, I just wonder how much Brad Stevens cares about a former NBA player. Does he care as much as you and I do that it's going to, I just don't think he looks at it the same way as us.
Well, once again, it comes down to his perception of what his players' reaction needs are, emotional and mental needs, not technical needs, because it's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about X's and O's. No. We're talking about instant respect or ability to acquire that respect. I have to ask you a question, something I learned today that I had absolutely zero recollection of, nothing. And that is Chad Finn of the Globe had an evaluation of candidates in which he wanted to make sure that that Jason Kidd wouldn't come within 2,000 miles of Boston. But I was unaware of allegations of sexual impropriety,
Yeah.
to say the least, against Chauncey Billups in 1997. I don't remember anything about that. That stunned me to even know that there was such an accusation out there. If that were to be the case, with the ramifications for anybody hiring him with regard to any local Me Too situation, you'd have to assume you would have a pushback. And
but they didn't. Right. I mean, he was hired as an assistant in the NBA and they didn't. That's a different.
I know. So
obviously.
this was news to me. I just think I just throwing it out there and trying to phrase it properly. I'm not accusing him. I don't have the slightest idea. I didn't know anything about these allegations.
Right.
That stunned me, because I lived through it. 97. I was a columnist. I wasn't on the beat, but
you thought you remember that.
Residual interest in the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we're going to learn here. We're learning about Brad. We're going to learn what we know.
One thing I would say is nothing is going to surprise me with Brad Stevens. If he goes outside the box, it is like if he goes Ime Udoka from Brooklyn, it wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me. I think Brad's going to have, these conversations and it's going to be, what's your philosophy? Do I connect with you? Right? How are you in it? Like, I think, it's going to be somebody that's probably in analytics to some degree because Brad is, right? It's going to be somebody that probably fits in line a little bit with his philosophy.
Yeah.
I would think.
I think so. Sure. And
you always want that. You want somebody you're going to be able to work with, right? To me, that's part of the reason Danny Ainge also hired Brad. He knew he could work with Brad Stevens easy.
Sure.
Now, Brad is so easy to work with as a GM. I don't think you're going to find too many people that are going to have a hard time working with him, but I think it's more going to be, does he click with somebody, whether it's philosophy, whether it's just sitting down and being able to talk ball for hours and feeling like, this is a guy I want to work with.
Yeah, sure.
I think he's smart that can, but for us, for you and I think it's more about like, well, who can get maximum out of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Who can get those guys to play off each other so there's great synergy between those two? Who can find a way, to maybe bring along an Aaron Nesmith? Like, to me, it's really more about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. If you're going to keep those two, who is going to get those guys to where they are going to be able to play off one another and be a duo that we talk about, like, you're not having one go for 40 and the other go for 12. They're going for 25 every night and it's done together, not almost individually.
Yeah. Well, good point. Yeah. Well, we're going to learn. We're going to learn about Brad and, it's going to keep us going for a while.
All right. There you have it. Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, CLNS Media Garden Report. Stay tuned. And hopefully maybe in a week from now, we might have a new head coach for the Boston Celtics.
Hi guys, Cedric Maxwell here. I want to take a minute to tell you about Marigold Medical. I'm used to keeping my body in great shape, but with arthritis, even the most simple everyday tasks became unbearable. As soon as I called Marigold Medical, I knew I was in good hands. No drugs, no surgery, just an experienced team of caring professionals that wanted to get me back to doing the things I love. Make the call to Marigold Medical and get back to pain-free life.